it's Miss A, got a lot to say on all the things we go through within the day. Politics, dating, recipes, traveling, and yep, of course, I'm the karaoke queen. I take no L's, I'm always booking flights. This is my lovely lunatic Leo life. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? This is my lovely lunatic Leo life. Kaboom! Guess who stepped in the room? The one and only S.A. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another week of my lovely Lunatic Leo Life podcast. And we have a special guest, as always, Rashaun.Reese, the comedian. Yes, y'all. So he's new to the show. This is my first time meeting him, you know. So I like to make everyone feel comfortable. So I hope you will feel comfortable. Yeah. He got his bright colors, which y'all know I love. I usually wear bright colors too, but it's getting cold. I haven't switched my clothes yet, so it's all good. So the reason why I wanted to bring you on is because I've been seeing you've been doing big things for years, you know what I mean? And I like to get people's success stories and, you know, to encourage others to let them know that your time will come whenever you're ready, not even when you're ready for it, but when you're spiritually and mentally ready, your time will come. You just got to keep working on your craft. Yeah, so first of all, I want to congratulate you on what you've been doing and how you've been on tour, and you've been doing a lot. You've been busy.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you have going on right now?
Well, I just, back in August, I filmed my first half-hour special for Showtime with the legendary Bob Sumner. If you're familiar with Bob Sumner, he's the executive producer of Def Comedy Jam. So all the guys you know, whether it's Martin Lawrence or Bernie Mac, Dale Hewley, Tracy Morgan,
wow.
the list goes on and on. Mike Epps, these guys, he helped curate their careers.
Wow.
He's done laugh tracks on True CB, Bad Boys of Comedy. My first television appearance, 2008. BT One Mic Stand, hosted by Kevin Hart, was his as well. So he came back and gave 12 comedians around the country an opportunity to shoot a half-hour special. And he offered me one, so I'm the only one from New Jersey.
Nice. So a whole half hour, and it's on Showtime.
Yep, and it'll be on Showtime, God willing, the first quarter of 2023.
Oh, nice. Congratulations. That's big.
So in the midst of that, going on tour with my guy Major Hype, if you're familiar with him, Caribbean King Comedy. I'm on tour with him and just working as a comic in colleges and all good stuff. So
when did you realize that, or when, you always been funny, obviously.
Yeah, I was funny when I was young.
So did you ever think that you would do stand-up, or what did you, like, how did this happen?
Nah, I never thought. Actually, when I was young, I was in sports. I played basketball, and wasn't that tall, but I was really good. So my goal was really to go to college, get a scholarship, things of that nature, and I wanted to focus on criminal justice. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, I wanted to go in law enforcement. I wanted to be a U.S. Marshal, or U.S. Customs, something that, DEA, something of that matter. That was the plan. Wow. That was the original plan.
We know plans don't always work out the way you want it.
And then I kind of stumbled upon comedy. My best friend, one of his friends, was performing at Rascals Comedy Club. You familiar with Rascals back in the day? It was a comedy club. It was in West Orange, and then Montclair. It was a pretty big comedy club at the time. And we went to go support his friend. And when I went to go support his friend, he wasn't that funny to me. So I was like, I could do this. And I asked the guy who was running the show, could I do it? He told me to come back a week later. I did it. I never looked back.
Really? Just like that?
Just like that.
Damn, so you had it, not to say you had it easy, but it seemed like you found the right destined path to go.
Nah, it wasn't easy. It was just the easy part was to get on the stage. But once I got up there, I had to learn the craft and work at it and practice at it and continue to do it. But it took a while.
How did it go in your first time?
The first time went well. That's why I decided to do it.
Okay, so you kept on.
The first time went well. The second time went bad. Oh, the first time was great. Then the second show, you know, you kind of like overconfident. You feel like, oh, I got this. And then the second show, everything went flatline. Like, nah. And that's what made me kind of second guess, or should I go and continue to, you know, focus on law enforcement and not focus on comedy?
Just from one time?
Yeah, it's bad.
They humbled you real quick.
When you get all those boos and all that stuff, it messes with your self-esteem, and you start wondering, like, maybe should I still keep doing this? You know what I mean? So, wow. And so, what made you keep going then? Well, I got a friend of mine. We're not as cool as we used to be, but he's one of if you're familiar with the Joe Budden's podcast, Ish. He's one of the co-hosts on it. He was one of my close friends at the time, and he actually was the one that made me keep doing it. He was like, "Yo, you can't quit. Like, this is what all celebrities or the top comedians go through. Like, it's part of the business, man. You just gotta stay at it." So he's the reason I kept doing it, because if it wasn't for him, we sat outside till like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. That's a good friend to help you keep encouraging you.
Yeah, well, I mean, best friends become strangers. That's how life happens sometimes like that. But yeah, I'm one of those guys, man. My heart is pure. I give credit where credit is due. If it wasn't for him, I would have stopped doing it. 100%.
Wow. Well, thank you, Ish.
Yeah. Thank you.
I've been told. I mean, I'm pretty funny, but I've been told I've been a comedian, but it's usually by the white people that laugh at everything. But
now, see, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because that's what happened when I did my first show. It was more of a white show, and we were at Rascals, and the next show was in Linden at Nuno's, which is primarily a black crowd, and they weren't having it. So,
see,
you're 100% right. So,
that's funny. Yeah. It's true. So most of my friends, they always like, you're hilarious. You should be a comedian. And I think I'm more of like an improv person, like improv acting instead of a comedian. I don't think I could stand in front of a crowd and do jokes, Yeah. I could do acting and do something just like naturally. Would you ever consider doing improv acting also?
I've done a little bit here and there. As far as acting is concerned, like for example, improv is obviously different because it's no time out.
You just go with the flow. Mm-hmm.
I just finished filming a movie called The Liquor Run. It's gonna be a dope movie. I'm starring in it.
I got an actor in the mix.
Shout out to Split Star. If you're familiar with Split Star.
Yeah, I know.
My boy Hassan Oliver, another comedian out of Jersey, and my girl Big Mama Badass. We all starred in the film. It's directed by Hall Mill. They're out of Jersey too. It's really funny. But that's probably I'm gotten more into the acting side, not the improv side. I haven't done much of that.
And when does this movie come out?
Spring of 2023.
Nice. Also, you just got projects, some type of project.
Yeah, everything is happening then. It's like I'm doing stuff and I'm filming stuff like this. So the movie been filmed. We just wrapped a couple weeks ago, so that's been filmed now, and the special was filmed in August. So everything comes first quarter.
That's nice. Beautiful. So is there? This might be. Okay, I don't know how to ask this question. This might be an ignorant question. But, most times you hear about comedians going through like a struggle. They had a huge struggle mentally and things they grew up with. Do you feel like, have you gone through anything like that? Or and that's what made you always want to tell jokes to try to escape from the things you were going through? Or you just regular childhood?
I had a great childhood. My mother was a retired principal.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. Half of my life was in the hood. Mm-hmm. Then my mother, we moved to the suburbs. I went to Columbia High School in Southwest Maplewood, so I got a chance to experience a different side of life. Okay. You know what I mean? And for me, my childhood was great.
Okay,
good. What I mean? So it wasn't really much of a struggle. But it was a struggle. It wasn't much of a struggle, but it was a struggle.
Right. Yeah. She did her best to let you guys understand or feel the struggle that she was going through. Yeah, okay. That's good. Okay, that's good. You know what I'm saying? So, do you have any kids?
No.
No kids? Do you have plans to have any kids? You want to settle down? Really. No? Okay.
I actually love kids. I mean, Bones, I love his 2 kids. That's my roommate. Shout out to Bones.
What's up, Bones? Thank you, Bones, for putting him on.
But I don't have any plans to have any. But if I had one, I wouldn't be upset.
Okay.
No. Yeah, not at this point. I would love to have one, but just it wasn't in God's plans.
Where do you think you want to take your career in like the next 5 to 10 years?
At this point, man, I really want to get more into the acting side. Writing, I do a lot of writing as well. I've been doing that for years, writing for other comedians, things like that.
Oh, really?
A lot of people don't know that, but
nice.
More the back end side. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to do on the television side and the film side. But not so much. I'm not one of those guys that really want to be in front of the camera. I love doing stand-up, so I like being in front of an audience, but I don't really like being in front of the camera. That's not my thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm more shy. Bones will tell you that. Like even when I'm performing at shows and I do very well, and people want to, they want to meet you, they want to talk to you. I'm one of those people that's kind of like.
Okay, yeah. I get it. I love to be on the camera, as y'all know. Like I'm the front person.
Yeah, everybody has their own thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because everyone brings something to the table. Once you love it and that's your craft, you're gonna go hard for it. Yeah, so that's dope that you want to do behind the scenes. And if you do write, I act a little bit. I'm just starting to get my feet wet in acting, but I took theater classes in college and high school.
Yeah, I did the same thing in college too. Yeah, I took acting classes.
Yeah, I was a theater major for 1 semester though. Okay. But throughout my whole high school, I was in drama class the whole high school.
High school just in?
Bergenfield High School. I grew up in Bergen County.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I've been in Newark for like the last 10 years. Okay. And I didn't even mention he's from Jersey, did I? I sure didn't. Yeah. He's from East Orange, so y'all, we representing Jersey today.
East Orange in the building.
Yes. Okay, so we got people moving on up, doing their thing. So is there anything else that you want to pursue? Like, do you think you would ever go back to law enforcement?
No.
If everything, no.
I used to, for years while I was doing stand-up, every 2 or 3 years I would take the civil service exam.
Oh, really?
Just to, like, worst case scenario. I'm past that. It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm past the age limit. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, well, shit.
Comedy is all it.
You know what you want. You're just gonna keep going for it.
Just gotta keep working.
Yeah.
Stuff is not a race; it's a marathon. Just gotta keep working.
That's a good thing.
You know.
I appreciate that. That's beautiful. Like, I love people who have their hustle and their drive and they keep going for it no matter what, despite what you go through.
That's the thing, because you got a lot of people, some people just, and I've been doing comedy for a long time, so I've watched people quit, become funeral directors, go into construction, become longshoremen, whatever it may be. I mean, it's your choice, it's your life, but I watch other comedians where they stay focused, and now Little Rel Howery is taking off huge star. I watch all these certain comics just continue to elevate because they stay focused. You gotta stay on it. You can't just quit.
Wow.
Easy to quit.
Yeah.
It's easy to quit.
It's even harder to keep going. And I ain't quitting either. I've been doing radio for almost 20 years. And I never got paid for it though. I always put into it, but this is like, my voice is my power, you know, and I love to talk and I love to spread knowledge to people or help people out. So that's why I've been doing my thing, you know what I mean? And I was usually doing it alone or with a DJ, but it's like the more people I bring on, the more experiences I'm allowing people to express themselves and encouraging more people to be able to do what they want in life, you know? I realized my path in life is to help people find their own happiness just by me expressing how I live my life and how I do my thing. Because I love to travel, you know what I mean? To me, traveling is nothing. I just went to Zanzibar, Tanzania for my 40th birthday by myself. Yeah. I went to Thailand by myself. So to me, it's nothing. But people are like, yo, I can't believe you did that. And just me doing that encouraged people to travel maybe to another state alone by themselves. You know what I mean?
So you gotta be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
I'm always by myself. So
yeah.
I know what you mean.
And you inspire people, but not everyone's going to tell you that, of course. But you're inspiring people to find their own happiness and do their own thing. You know,
it definitely happens because I'll give you an example. You familiar with Rock Davis? Itchy House Films. He's a big time director out of New Jersey. He does a lot of music videos and things like that. You can look him up. Shout out to Rock Davis. But when I started doing comedy and I really went full time hard with it, I remember him coming to me saying like, "Yo, Rob, I'm inspired by you. The fact that you do this full time, like you don't work, you strictly do comedy."
Wow.
Like, yeah. At the time, he was working for PSE&G, and he was filming and doing what he got to do. But he was like, "Yo, I want to leave my job, but I'm scared." That's which is most people are scared to do, to leave something. Comfortability, knowing you got a check coming every 2 weeks, you got a pension, you got benefits you're paying into and all that other stuff. Most people don't want to leave that type of situations. You're comfortable, you're safe.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, listen, bro, you gotta take a chance. Like at some point, you've been in this job long enough, just take a leave of absence from the job for a year.
Right.
Do the filming full time. If it works out, everything's all good. If it doesn't, go back to work.
Right.
Well, guess what? He did it. Never went back. This guy, whole career went from here to here.
Wow.
Look him up. Shout out to Rock Davis.
Wow. See, just off of you doing that.
He'll tell you this. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So I understand exactly what you mean. And there are people that inspire me by watching them do what they do.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to give it your all. If you don't,
you can't half-ass.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to support you like you support yourself. So if you believe in yourself, then you make people believe in you too, you know? Absolutely. So where were you working before you quit?
God.
It seems like so long ago.
I worked in sales. For many years. I worked at Sears. I worked at PC Richard & Son. I worked at Lowe's Home Improvement. I worked at AT&T Wireless. I worked at 6 Avenue Electronics. I worked at Electronic Expo. Where else? I think that's it.
I've been there.
That's it. I was a salesman by trade, so it's like,
okay.
For me, that was always a great job. It was commission based. So
I was about to say, so you stacked up pretty well before you took your
I got stuck in
hires.
water, and I waited till I got to a certain point in my career where I knew I could make a certain amount of money monthly and things of that nature.
Okay, so you didn't just like quit just like that. You prepared yourself.
Well, honestly, yeah. Well, the story is, I was working at PC Richard, and I think my boss had said, shout out to Ray. Ray said something to me, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like I can't do this no more, and I quit right there on the spot. Respectfully though, like, I mean, I'm just gonna bow out of this, and I'm gonna focus on my comedy career. Y'all, good luck to y'all, and he was like, good luck to you, and that was it.
And that was that, and now there ain't no looking back.
Like 08, something like that. 09, yeah, that was it.
Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, what places have you performed at in New York? Let's just keep it. Yeah, like we'll just keep it Because I know you've been to
Caroline's on Broadway, Symphony Space Theater, Sony Theater. These are all in New York.
You know, even a better question. Have you performed at a place that you've always wanted, like your dream spot?
I would say the NJ Pack for me. You know, just growing up here in Newark, New Jersey, I got a chance I played the NJ Pack 5 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's an unbelievable feeling when you go to the NJ Pack and there's 3,500 people sold out. You know what I mean? Going crazy. I can't even explain it. You know, then when you come out and a lot of people are from this area, they know who you are. And, you know, they screaming and yelling, so that's probably...
That's amazing.
One thing about that, I think, will probably be the Prudential Center. I've done the Prudential Center.
You haven't? Not yet?
Not yet.
Madison Square Garden?
I'm not a New Yorker, so I don't really mean that.
Good answer. I mean, I'm not a rapper, but I love karaoke. Like I said, I'm the karaoke queen. Have you ever heard of trap karaoke?
Yeah, of course.
So I've performed with trap karaoke at least for 5 years. Yeah, they do it in New York.
Down south.
No, it started in New York. They're from New York.
Okay.
So they said I started in 2016. I performed at Irvine Plaza in the city.
Yeah, gotcha.
I performed at SOBs multiple times.
What songs were you doing?
Well, I did, okay, so I usually always do Biggie. Like, Biggie is my go-to person. But Biggie is my go-to person. But being that it was like trap karaoke, I was doing some Cardi B songs. Damn, what was I doing? Well, the first time I did trap karaoke, I did Biggie, Method Man, and Rap Phenomenon. I did, gotcha. Right? And then the second time I did was Cardi B, and the album had just came out a week before, so I had to learn the words a week before I performed. I killed it. Yeah. And I did Missy Elliott's Rain recently, or 2019. That was the last one. Okay. I did too. I did Money by Cardi also. So I think So. I like this. And it was dope. I'm gonna show you my performance.
I'm a Cardi B fan.
Oh, really? Okay, good. Because I hate when people are like, "Oh, I hate Cardi." Because I love her too. Nah. And it's so amazing because at Irvine Plaza, that was the biggest crowd I performed in. I was like 800 to 900 people. Wow. And I drink and I smoke, but before I perform, I don't drink or smoke because I'll be fucking up shit, you know? So I was, just the fact that they get on stage and people just look at me like, oh, like, they don't expect what they don't get.
I'd like to see that.
Yes, no, I kill it each and every time, and I always go first. It was like I start the shit off, you know?
Yeah, it's a sweet spot.
I love it, and I performed at BB King's years ago because I used to be part of hip hop karaoke, which was another group.
Shout out to BB King, I love the host back in the day.
Those are the days. Yeah. Those are the days, man. So, I mean, it's not 3,500, but I would love to perform in front of 3,500.
BB King's is still dope, too.
It was nice. And then you get off stage, everyone's like, wow, you did it. I'm like, and I usually perform and then I leave. I don't stay for the whole show.
Really?
Like, it's like a high, I get a high, because they
do. You like being in front of an audience, then?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's why I'm like, if someone was a ghostwriter for me, I'd perform. I don't care. I let people know I have a ghostwriter. Yeah. I can't sing.
Stand up, or you talking as far as music?
Both. Listen, you know what I'm saying? You could be my ghostwriter. It could be both. I could do it. I could definitely do it, you know? So I just love being on the stage and being the spokesperson, hosting events and stuff like that it was too. Are you wouldn't be into hosting, or would you? Hosting an event?
I do all that stuff.
MC, yeah.
MC and hosting, kind of do all that.
The jack of all trades.
There's not much I haven't done as far as comedy and hosting wise and being in front. I've done high schools, I've done Sweet 16 parties.
Oh, wow.
I've done senior citizen homes, I've done VA hospitals where literally the patients are sedated in a sense. You know,
damn.
Stuff like that. I've done it all, yeah. Yeah, so that's why, I tell young comedians you have to, what they say, put 10,000 hours in at least to get yourself to a point where you're really considered a professional. Because you can't go out asking for money and you're not seasoned. You know what I mean? Because I've seen a lot of comedians that are young that they'll start getting paid and then they'll get in the right situation and they can't handle it. They don't know what to do because you haven't worked long enough to get to the point where you're comfortable with it, you know?
So you've handled booze and I'm sure you've handled rejection. Have you had any experience with other comedians that just hate on you, or like, is everyone close knit in the?
Nah, hell no.
People are shaped. He said that fast as hell.
Listen, I'm not a clip person, so you got.
Okay.
And that's just like anything. I'm not just saying comedy. Whenever you're in music, poetry, people just kind of click up sometimes. I'm one of those people that stay by myself. It's just usually myself and his bones. He's not with me. Like I'm by myself today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If he's not here, then I'm by myself. If I'm not, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Or that's it. So I don't get caught up in that because, comedians, this is how can I put it? Like it's a self-driven business in a sense. It's like, no, it's just you on stage. That's why it's one of the hardest crafts because as a comedian, when you're on stage, if you're bombing, you're not doing well, no one's going to save you.
Yeah, true.
You're on your own. Acting is one thing. If you mess up in acting, someone can jump in your place, take your place, or if you're singing, it's like Jodeci or Devontae, if Casey fall off, then JoJo can get in there, whatever the case may be. But when you're a comedian, you're by yourself. No one can save you. You know what I mean? So
I got you.
I've seen comedians bomb, and they were just cool. They're all other comedians on the side, and then you come off stage and you bomb, and nobody want to talk to you. See what I'm saying? So that's showing you that right then and there.
Yeah.
This is the game. You're in the wrong game. They don't want to talk to you. They feel like if you bomb, they don't want you. Nah, good.
But would you mentor young up-and-coming comedians?
Yeah, I mean, I originally wanted to do that. That was my original plan. Bones and I had put together a show at Westside High School in Newark. It was great, actually, a couple of years ago, before COVID, pre-COVID. And we brought some comedians and we brought some artists to perform for the kids pro bono. The plan was to actually eventually bring classes into the school to teach the kids comedy, improv, writing, all that good stuff, but it didn't pan out.
Damn, that would have been dope as hell.
Reason it didn't pan out, I don't want to say, but I'm not gonna say it was me.
It's the politics.
I mean, it's not even that politics. It's just that sometimes people don't want to. How can I put it? Sometimes people say they want to do something, but I don't think they really mean it. You know what I mean? I meant it. That's why I came there and performed for the kids. We did it pro bono. We didn't charge anything. It's really just about the kids. And then, the great part about it is I asked the children during the show. I asked them. I said, point to the kid that makes you laugh. So this imagine you in school. I'm like, point to the guy or the young lady that makes you laugh every day in school. And everybody's like, and I said, there you go. I said, that lets you know that there are a ton of Kevin Hart's or Tiffany Haddish or the next so-and-so was in here. I said, school's not the place to be making jokes all day long, but there's a time, place, everything. So, I wanted to develop a class or something of that matter for the kids to be able to go to and learn this particular craft that I work in and understand that there's a place for them. See, when I was in school, I was cutting up, but I didn't know you could become a stand-up comic. I didn't know you could make a living off this. I didn't know you could travel the world because you tell jokes. But I was explaining to them that you can do this. It's not as hard as you think.
That would be such a dope. Did you try maybe a different high school? Or
Eventually, I've just been so busy now. At that time, things weren't as busy, so. Yeah. But eventually, that's what I want to do. You always want to get back to the kids, man. That's what it's about.
That's what I'm working on, doing a podcast program for some kids, and it's in the beginning stages. So we're still trying to get everything technical, but I just felt like the kids have so much to say. They do it in such bullshit ways. This would be an outlet for them to really get it out professionally, starting young. And it wouldn't just be, I'm looking for the on-air personality. I'm also looking for people behind the scenes and to edit the video, edit the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So bringing everybody. Yeah. And I'm like, every time I talk about it, I get a little choked up because it makes me so happy that you're giving these kids an opportunity when they might always say like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't know anyone who can help me, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's dope that you're doing that you would do that because these kids, they need something.
It was really dope, man. Shout out to everybody that helped us in that particular night. We had rap artist PBM Louie. We had All Star the Great. Shout out to Darius DK, comedian. Nice. He's the influencer of Mike Ruger, who just got cast in a Wild 'N Out. Shout out to Mike Ruger. He was on it. It was just a great night all around. Shout out to DJ Doughboy, he DJ'd it. DJ Smooth. All these guys came out and did it purely for no cost, just for kids. That's what it's about.
That's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
And when you do little deeds or good deeds, you always get something in return, whenever you least expect it.
Come back a different way. Right.
I always tell my people that I've recently changed spiritually. So I like to talk about people's spirituality. Not necessarily talking about church or anything like that, but just like their own. Do you have any like spiritual practices that you do, or did something help you elevate to the next spiritual, your higher self?
I grew up in the church, so I'm spiritually connected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I always pray regardless.
Pray that.
I'm not one of the people that actually pray when you go on stage and all that stuff. I'm not one of those people, but I pray every day, all day anyway. So it's like.
Have you ever heard of ayahuasca?
No.
It's a plant medicine that people take in, or well, they take it anywhere now, but it came from the jungles of South America and Central America, where our ancestors would take it. And that really, when you take it, it's like a tea, because they brew the plant, and you take it like a tea, and it helps you find your inner spirituality. It'll show you, and it also has DMT in it, so it has like hallucinogenic effects to it. So I just recently did that in August, and before that in March I did a different spiritual plant medicine called Yahe. So when I did that, that's what, well, I mean, I grew up going to the church, but I was never like, I'd never read the whole Bible from front to back, you know what I'm saying? I had to be forced to go to church, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But once I did the Yahe and it's like a ceremonious way, it was 12 of us, we do it overnight, and it woke up my spirituality, where I always knew I was dope in a sense as far as what I'm here to do and my purpose, but I never, it was like clarified to me that night I took the medicine. So when I did the ayahuasca again, it like reaffirms what I already believed. So I believe everybody has a purpose here in life, and everyone has their destiny in life. I'm not sure the difference between destiny and purpose yet, but people have their path. Do you think you're on your destiny or on your path?
Yeah, 100%. It's funny you asked that. I remember having a dream. This is years ago. I remember having a dream sitting on Jay Leno's couch talking to him. Weird. This is years ago. Jay Leno was off TV. I'm sitting on a couch talking to him while I could see the studio audience and everything with me discussing whatever projects I had going on, so on and so forth. So for me, I don't know anything else other than show business. You know what I mean? It's just, I know I'm on the right path. I always thought law enforcement would be it, but I don't think it was really my passion. I think law enforcement was just something I was intrigued. I was intrigued in, but comedy is more my passion. So if you ask me if I'm on the right path, absolutely.
Good. Yeah. I love to hear it. This is why I'm bringing people on the show, to show, you know, it's never too late to get on your right path. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It took you how many years to get here?
What, stand-up was? Stand-up almost 17 years.
Wow, see.
But people ask me all the time, like, yo, Rod, you funny as this and that third. when you gonna blow up and that third, I'm like, yo, man, listen. At the end of the day, people have to understand that when you're able to make a living off your talent, you're already winning.
Right.
That right there is the biggest part. When you're able to pay your bills off your talent, you're already winning. You already made it. Now, as far as when people say get to the next level in the business, of course, we all want to get there. But once again, it's not a race, it's a marathon. I always tell people, comedy-wise, a lot of people don't know, Bernie Mac was doing comedy 20 years before he got his break. Wow. So I understand what's going on. He was doing comedy 20 years before he did Def Jam.
Damn.
So he wasn't even on yet. So he was 20 years before he got on TV first, which is Def Jam. And then it took him like another 8 or 9 before he actually got his own TV show, so on and so forth. I mean, he was doing films and stuff, but his first break didn't come to 20 years. Mike Epps, 17, 18 years. Cat Williams, 17 years. So people think that it's just supposed to happen. No, the whole point of what you're doing, and whatever it is you're doing, not just stand-up, is to make sure you're prepared so when you get the call,
you're ready.
So Bob Sumner, shout out to Bob Sumner, calls me and says, hey, I want you to do a half-hour special. You know, blah, blah, blah. Are you ready? Absolutely, I'm ready. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got a standing ovation on it. So, and you got to see that first quarter of 2023. But I was ready. I was prepared. So you don't want to get the call and you're not prepared.
Yeah.
Now, if they were looking at you, now they're not looking at you because
you missed the mark.
You dropped the ball. Yeah. So that's the key. So just keep working.
I love that. Yeah. Got to keep working. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. But you know, in the beginning of this, I was in my early 20s. I used to intern for Wendy Williams on WBLS. You know what I'm saying?
Man. What year was this?
This was like
Wendy and Kevin.
Yeah. Well, this is when. Remember, she used to be on Comics. She used to do Comics Night Comedy Club.
How did we meet?
We probably did, but I was behind the scenes. Like, I babysat and tutored her son. I was at her house all the time. But actually, you know, by the time she did comics, no, I still was working for her.
Let's slow this down a second. So, how I ended up working with Wendy early in my career, I was the opening act because Capone was the original host at the time. He was the host. They used to do the Laugh Factory in Times Square before they went to comics.
Okay, I remember.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
So I don't know, did you come in at that point?
Yeah, I was working for her, but I never went to the comedy club, only once or twice.
All right, so at that time I was the opening act. I would come out and I would warm up the audience and then bring Capone up. Okay. And I always laugh because Charlemagne was quiet as a church mouse. Charlemagne would listen, you know, this when he was working with you in the beginning. Charlemagne would sit in the back like this.
He was always learning, listening, watching.
But that's the key, what you just said. So yeah, Charlemagne was very quiet. And I tell people this all the time. I remember watching him just doing what you're supposed to do, which is soaking everything up like a sponge, learning, listening, playing his position. Mm-hmm. So when I watch Charlamagne to this day, I always laugh. I'm like, wow, like to see him go from here to here, you know,
keeps elevating.
But look at the work. Yeah, people don't see the work. They think it just happens overnight. When I met Charlamagne, we're talking 04?
Yeah, that's 05. 05. I think it was 05.
I'm telling you, I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
So to watch him elevate his career the way it has, it's like, wow. You know what I mean? It shows you that you just have to put the work in.
That's when Wendy Williams met Charlamagne in person. Gotcha. I was there with them because really? I went to Puerto Rico with them to babysit their son. Okay. So we went to Puerto Rico and Vegas. So they met in our villa. That was the first time. I'm sure they spoke on the phone before that, but when they actually met, I was there. So I was, you know, at first I was interning for her. Then they fired me after like a month because I was always so eager. I was like in my early 20s. So I was always asking what you need next. But they just wanted us to sit there and watch and soak and, you know. So they fired me. And then I was working. This is while I was at Willie P. Then I was working at Bed Bath & Beyond near her house. And so she used to come in there. And so she was literally walking in while I'm literally walking past the door. I'm like, hi, Wendy. Remember, this is like a year later. So we were talking. She was like, you know, how do you feel about babysitting? She was like, you want to come babysit my son? I was like, hell fucking yeah. So then I started babysitting. Then she asked me to start tutoring. This is when he was like 5 or 6. So then I started babysitting, then tutoring. Then she was like, you know, you want to come back as a head intern. So now I'm like the head intern, like vetting interns before they come in and doing a lot more than I was doing before, you know? And I was there for a year. Then at Comics, she was there. Me and my friend went there. The only time I went to the comedy club. And Kevin's friend tried to holler at my friend. Now, this was a little short, ugly Jamaican dude. You probably know who I'm talking about.
I'm about to see him. I know what you're talking about.
So she gave me that look like, save me, girl. So I was like, all right, you know, we got to go to the bathroom. So I took it from him, and he was mad. So based off of that, the next day I go into my internship, Wendy told Taryn and Nicole to let me go. And I was just like, okay, I figured it was because of that. They were like, she was annoyed, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, I'll just finish off the week. So I even gave her a card. I left on good terms. Yeah. Everything was good. I was on my way. I was sad, but I was on my way because I was already there for like 2 years, you know? And so like a few months later, my friend calls me on the phone. He's like, yo, I think Wendy's on the air talking about you. And I'm like, what? Do you know she got on the air and said the intern who used to babysit and tutor my son from New Jersey tried to seduce Charlamagne in my house by dropping her towel in front of him or something. Like, I tried to see. So this is what MySpace was popping. So I hit up Charlamagne on MySpace like, yo, what the fuck is Wendy talking about? Yeah. He was like, I don't know, just don't pay her no mind. I was like, well, tell her I'm going to sue her, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It was 22, 23. Then a few months later on Halloween, I was out with my girls, and Nicole, her talent booker, was out with us. Like, we saw them, and she came to hang out with me and my friends. We were out. I was a French maid or whatever. So the next day, my same friend who calls me was like, what were you for Halloween? I was like, a French maid. He's like, yo, Wendy's talking hella shit. So I turn on, and she's saying that, like, Nicole told her they saw me in the city with this like slutty outfit on. Mind you, it's Halloween and it was warm for some reason because I didn't have no jacket. It was it was warm outside. And she was like, now she's on my MySpace page with the interns on the air talking about me like she looks a hot mess. This is the one who tried to sleep with Charlamagne. I'll make sure she get blacklisted from radio, never find a job in radio. Y'all, I mean, y'all know, but this is me at 23 trying to get in the game, and the queen of radio who I admired so much is saying this shit to me. I was devastated for like 2 years, crying every time. 2 years. You know what I'm saying? She don't know I could have killed myself over that shit.
I'm surprised. I thought it would be more so about Kevin and not Charlamagne, so that's kind of weird.
Well, it was Kevin's friend. It wasn't Charlamagne's friend. It was Kevin's friend who was trying to holler at my friend.
So when it got back to her that it was...
I don't know where the Charlamagne part came from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird.
It is weird. I don't know where it came from. He said something.
I don't know. Maybe Kevin might have offset it and played it off that way and put it on Charlamagne. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm just saying,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just to steer her away. I don't know. That's kind of weird. I'm just trying to figure out how Charlamagne got in the mix of that.
I don't know. It fucked me up for a minute.
I don't think Charlamagne and her are cool to this day.
No, they're not. And that's the thing. Like, and he doesn't say anything bad about her. He doesn't talk. You know, and I respect that. Charlamagne was always
without Wendy. Charlamagne wouldn't be anywhere.
No, yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That is a fact. I remember he used to go back and forth, WBLS in South Carolina. But well, he was cool as hell. Charlamagne was cool. Like, he would know who I am. Yeah. But this is so long ago. So that was my Wendy Williams story. So, you know, the fact that I kept going, you know, it didn't deter me from how I felt. And that was in the beginning stages. Then,
that's the nature of the business, man.
You got to have tough skin.
Listen, I got situations like that with certain comedians and stuff like that in the business. It's just you got to keep working.
If this is your passion, this is what you know you belong. Keep going. Do It All from Lords of the Underground. He's the one who brought me into the radio game now.
Man, shout out to Do It All.
Yep, he was on my last season. He came on here. I met him when I was interning at Power 105, and I was like, I live in Newark. That's when we started talking, and then we kept the exchange numbers. And anytime he was doing a project, he would hit me up and ask me if I was interested. So then he asked me, he was going to be on Streets 96. This is DJ Quash. So I was on there with him with Streets 96, and then I had my own show, Streets 105, after that. Okay. So yeah, I
remember that they were based in Bloomfield. Man, you go back some years. I've been around this for a minute.
Yeah. That was me too, doing my thing. Yep, Race. Yep, Race and DJ Qua. And even Qua, he has a restaurant.
Yeah,
Taj. And he also had a podcast studio. So when I was thinking about coming back doing my podcast, I was like, I was trying to get in touch with him because he told me about the podcast studio, but I wanted to see it, and our schedules never matched up. For 2 weeks, I was trying to find him, get to him. He was never there. Call him, never pick up. Right. So I was walking past this place because I live right around the corner. I work right around the corner. And I saw this beautiful place. And I'm like, you know what? This is where I was meant to be. This is why I couldn't get in touch with DJ Qua. This is where I'm at. This is my podcast home. And anytime I bring people here, they feel the vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's such a dope vibe and beautiful. So this is all me. And so that's why I love to bring people out, get their stories to other people, to motivate more people to do whatever it is. It doesn't have to be talking on the air. It doesn't have to be a comedian, but it could be acting, whatever. So I just appreciate you taking your time out to come and talk to your fellow Jersey girl. Anything coming up in the future that you can talk about?
Nothing much right now.
Not yet.
Things are happening.
Yes,
Things are moving.
I love it. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much.
And just keep doing your thing, and you will have support from me and our people. Now we got our fans here together. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for tuning in for another fabulous week of my Lovely Lunatic Leo Life podcast. And I will be back next week, y'all. Peace. The comedian Rashaun. Oh my God, Rashaun.Reese. Do over.
Don't worry about it.
I wanted to call you Rashaun real quick. And I was like, no, Rashaun.
There you go.
Yay! Oh, thank you.
Windy. That's funny.
Yeah, man. I was in there like swimwear.
Damn, that's crazy. All from. I know the dude you're talking about. I can't place his face up there. You said try to talk to your friend.
I don't even remember his name.